Chapter 13. The Universal Simulation. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Søren Kierkegaard. Of the different levels one can consider when observing and pondering our reality, like the material, the historical, and the cognitive that we've already explored, one layer subsumes them all. It's a meta-level of existence that brings into question the entirety of reality as we know it. Many different people, cultures, and beliefs have questioned this level of reality, whether or not and to what degree the realm we exist in is real at all. In these modern scientific days, this area of consideration is relegated to a specific colloquial term, simulation theory. Although the word theory is certainly misused in this context, there exists a surprisingly varied and robust field of thought in the philosophical, scientific, and theological spaces regarding a number of simulation constructs. Though few of them can be reconciled against each other, and none of them can be proven or disproven by nature, there is a through line that they all point to: that we deeply misunderstand what existence even is, and that the system we're in is not at all what it seems to be from within it. In 1999, I was a high school kid living in British Columbia, Canada. Upon returning from a weekend camp in the spring of that year, a friend of mine told me about a film that had just come out in theaters. He seemed very excited to see it, so I went with him, completely oblivious to what I was going to see. By the time I walked out of the theater that night, my head was spinning. Not only had I never seen anything like it by way of cinematography, but the greater concepts of the film left a lasting impression on me and many others when it comes to the idea of a systemic simulation of reality. The movie was the Wachowski brothers' magnum opus, The Matrix. This film has so ensnared the individual psyches and collective zeitgeist of society ever since that people understand and reference The Matrix by name both in casual conversation and in clinical theses regarding simulation hypotheses. If ever the topic of a totalizing simulation was faux pas or ill-considered in popular culture before it, since then, not only is the subject open for discussion, but entire careers have been built upon its possibility. Perhaps the thinker who spent the most time and effort to build out this space within the sciences is Oxford fellow and Swedish philosopher-mathematician Nicholas Bostrom. When people use the term simulation theory, they're referencing the work Bostrom has done in what he's coined the simulation hypothesis. The core premise of this hypothesis centers around the idea of an ever-nearing technological crossing of the Rubicon. As technology continues to improve in the areas of hyper-real visuals and experiences, there is a hypothetical point where reality begins to blur between what is and what isn't real. This inflection point is deemed the uncanny valley. With immersive video games and interactive online universes becoming more and more believable, vivid, and indistinguishable from reality, Bostrom states that at the very moment, called the simulation point, humanity can create a total and consuming universal simulation like the Matrix. It becomes statistically likely that we ourselves are also within one. Take a moment to consider what he means by that, because the implications run deep. If humanity technologically evolves to a point where we can build an indistinguishably real yet fully simulated universe, then not only does it become possible that we're also within one, the chances that we are the first or ancestor civilization is mathematically less likely than if we're not. Many complex and enigmatic contingencies arise when you think of the implications that come with this paradigm. Firstly, not only would an indefinite series of simulations have to be proposed, but they would theoretically each be a derivative and functionally parasitic part of the higher order simulation before it. Because if we build a universal and self-sustaining simulation within our reality, it relies upon our reality to exist, even if internally it's unaware of our existence. And in the computational aspect of such a simulation, there would necessarily be a minimum baseline of energy and informational power required from the parent reality to sustain the lower level reality it has built. This leads to the second limiting contingency to such a model, one that Bostrom calls the computational tower. Wherever the root ancestor reality lies, every single reality that gets produced after it as you move proverbially up a tower.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.